It's a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning if you're in the US, and you're waking up to me. This is not a rant. This is me sharing with you some of the things I see on LinkedIn that is literally getting in the way of people having any success. And I want to talk them out because, one, I'm going to use this video and give it to people afterwards because I see so many people sabotaging themselves on the platform. So I'm going to walk through some of the big ones that I see. I want to make sure I'm actually live and it's actually working for a second. So I want to walk through and actually show you what I see. And why is this important? If you're getting zero, well, no, actually, not if you're getting zero results. If you're getting the wrong results, this is what you've got to pay attention to. So, you know, I've approached LinkedIn differently to a lot of people, and it's not made me necessarily the most biggest influencer or anything on the platform. For some people, you might go, Dean, I'd love to um, swap your scenario with mine, but I get most of my business from LinkedIn. About 66% of my business, a third of my business comes from being active on LinkedIn. But a tiny percentage of that comes from content. The majority of it comes from systems I'm using. You see, we think that like the only show in town is posting content or DMs. And so you have these kind of two camps on LinkedIn. Subconsciously, you have these two camps at the extremes of post content and you'll get leads, or you have to be in the DMs and pitching people. And there's a whole spectrum of things you can do between those two places. Yet everybody pivots to those places. And it's because it's the two most obvious things. And the weird bit is the content piece is addictive. Posting content is actually addictive. And so, rather than do things to actually have a good conversation with somebody that will actually lead to some business, we post content. And I've seen this kind of cycle. This is one of the big self-sabotages. And I tell people who come onto my program, content is the icing on the cake. It's not the cake. And it doesn't matter how you view LinkedIn. I'm not saying content is bad, but I'm saying it's not your first thing. And I did a post yesterday, a little bit tongue in cheek, because there was an influencer, LinkedIn influencer, and I saw this line in a post, and in that line it said, "You don't need to do ads. You do not need to post on Instagram. You do not need to post on Instagram. You do not need ads, and you do not need to pitch people in the DMs." This post was on Instagram, and it was an ad for a LinkedIn influencer selling their organic content course. This influencer has at least probably 3 times the followers that I have. And it's like, how, at what point can you not convert your own audience? Why are you not converting your own audience? If you're an influencer with 192,000 followers and every post you do is in the 500 to 2,000 likes camp, why do you need to go to Instagram to sell your organic course? Now, some of you will go, yeah, they're scaling. Okay, you're scaling, fine. But why would you, where do you not realize the irony of what you've said in that ad? Don't post on Instagram. Don't do ads. Oh, go on LinkedIn and do organic content. And then, do you not see the irony there? Of you're basically doing the thing you're telling people not to do to get business. So why am I telling you this? Why am I talking about this? People are waiting and expecting, and this is what happens on LinkedIn. People expect that clients will come to them. And I actually see people making it harder for them to win business because they run to the platform, get excited about a new shiny object, and don't do the work. Don't do the work. What's the problem you're solving? It comes down to the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are why things work. And the fundamentals will outlast AI, and the fundamentals will outlast every gadget, right? If you need a small number of customers to get by for a whole year, why are you not focused on the most efficient, most effective way to get those customers? Why do we default to a position of doing something that requires volume to work? And you see this with DMs, and you see this with content. I will obsess about trying to create content and get it to 1,000 people rather than talk to the right people. So thinking about this self-sabotage, the first thing that is self-sabotage is, and I'm going to probably tell you to suck eggs, but I believe that the fundamentals, the founding pillars of how you approach sales and marketing don't change because humans haven't changed. What are you selling? There's a concept in marketing called the 4 Ps. Product, what are you selling? Place, where are you going to sell it? Price, how much you're going to charge for it, and promotion. Now, some people add another one in, but how are you going to sell it, right? Those 4 Ps, right? You have to have those nailed to sell on LinkedIn. And I'll tell you, I'll show you. Look at your own profile. Is it clear what you're selling specifically? Is it clear? These are age-old marketing principles, right? You can't escape them. You can put all kind of shiny objects and make up bullshit titles and names and systems and formulas, but it still comes down to what the hell are you selling? If I looked at your profile, would I even know? Right? Would I even know that you sell that thing? Could I look at it? Could I inspect it? Could I figure out how it could work for me? Probably not for the majority of profiles. We've got some new members in our team, and I talked to them on Friday and said, this is the atypical problem that people have on LinkedIn. They haven't defined what they're selling. So their focus is everywhere, and it's not clear even from their profile what they're selling. So we went through 10 profiles. We looked at 10 people's profiles, and on none of them, not one could I look at a page, a bit of information about what they're selling. Nowhere. It hinted at it in different places, and if I had half an hour, I could pull that bit there and that bit there and that bit there and figure it out. But why are we making it hard for our prospects to figure out what we're selling? Surely we should make it really, really, really easy. Like a child could figure it out. Yeah, no, we don't. We don't. And I can look through and I could share screens with you right now, and I could go, yeah, it's not clear. It's not clear, especially when we're operating in seconds. You know, when people are not going to spend half an hour trying to figure out what we're doing, which leads me to my next act of self-sabotage, which kind of builds on this not being clear, not sure what they're selling. We assume that people have seen us before. Right? Your content, your profile, everything you're doing, we assume that the person seeing whatever activity we're doing has seen us before. We assume they know about us. And in that sense, we make big assumptions about them, their situation, their problem. And we should basically have all of our information on our page, our content, everything should assume that this is a first-time visitor. And more than that, it should assume that it's a first-time visitor who is problem aware, but not solution aware. And this is the biggie one. This is the big one, right? The vast majority of your ideal clients are not solution aware yet. They're not even thinking about solutions yet. And yet all of your presence talks about solutions. They are majoritatively problem aware. They know they've got a problem, but they haven't defined it. They don't fully understand it. They don't really know the root causes of it. They've just got this problem, this situation. And you are, or most people are, 10 steps ahead of them, talking in a solution aware language. They're not even talking about the problem. They are 10 steps ahead of their prospects. And then they wonder why. And I've had this said to me, I've had people raise their hands in workshops. What happens when my clients don't know they need us? They don't know they need us because you're so focused on talking about the solution, you've forgotten to talk about the problem. What is the actual problem you're solving? And that leads me on to another point. And this is the killer problem. You know, all of these problems compound, right? So it's not like, oh, I've got that problem and that problem, I fix that one. They all work into each other, right? Okay, they're problem aware. Do you think a CEO and a HR manager thinks about the problem in the same way? Do you think the consequences, the way it feels, is the same? Like, I can help people with LinkedIn. I could help a lawyer, a realtor, a salesperson, a marketing leader, a CEO. I can help all of them. And they all want to get leads and clients. But the way they work, the way they think about the problem, the way they approach the problem, the way that problem shows up will be very, very different. A salesperson who needs leads and clients will be thinking about their job, their career, whether they're going to get fired, are they going to miss their targets, are they going to be pulled up by their manager, you know, all of those things. Business owners struggling with leads and clients, they're worried about their mortgage, their financial future, the viability of their business. You see my point? Same problem, different outworking for different personas, right? CEO of a company, he'll be worried about sales, but not in the way of, my livelihood's on the line, my mortgage, my future. It'll be a different. I'm going to get fired as a CEO. Is the board going to replace me? The language and the way they see the problem in their context, their world will be different. So am I saying you have to niche down on an audience? To a degree, yes. To a degree, yes. There are some overlapping things, like often accountants and lawyers, very, very similar problems, very, very similar manifestations of those problems, very, very similar outworkings of those problems. But I'm not saying you have to lock on to a niche audience and say, oh, I help lawyers do X, Y, or Z, but you'd probably make money faster if you did. Think about it. If you grew your network for lawyers who wanted leads and clients, and you started posting content that was relevant to lawyers who wanted leads and clients, and you started to talk all about that, and everybody in your network was lawyers and clients, do you think it would be easier? Sure, it would be easier. So why do so many people not do that? Why do they not do that? Because they're so worried about losing out on something they've not got that they won't pursue something they can get. Yeah? Let me say that again. So worried about losing something they haven't got, they won't pursue something they could get. So in other words, like, I'm going to go over here and pursue all these lawyers and get business from these lawyers. I'm going to do this. Oh, but what about them people there? What if by going there, I lose them? Right? What if I focus on lawyers and I lose accountants? What if I focus on SaaS businesses and I lose financial services or fintech startups? Like, here's the dilemma. It's a human dilemma. It's the fear of missing out. You're afraid of, if you go this way, you lose that way. But you lose both if you stand still. If you keep sitting on the fence, you lose both because you don't appeal to both. So in effect, You make it harder to sell. You are making it more difficult for people to buy from you and make it more difficult for you to market yourself. So often people go, yeah, but I don't want to box myself in permanently to accountants or lawyers or SaaS or fintech. And that's okay. You can own a label for a little while. You can niche down for a little while whilst you get some revenue, whilst you get some consistency, and branch out. It's actually common sense when you think about it. Let's start with this corner of the market, do a really good job there, get some success there, and branch out. Coca-Cola did not start with 100 different brands. Fanta, Sprite. It started with one product, and it started selling it as a medicinal ailment, and they nailed it. And then they expanded out. They broadened who the product could go for. They were making good money, and they broadened out who the product could go for. It's amazing how many people will start either trying to sell 100 brands, Fanta, Sprite, Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Cherry Coke, God knows what Coke, trying to sell all of those things, but with finite effort. Finite effort. They don't have the bandwidth to do them all, but they'll try and achieve zero. Yeah, you could go, do you know what? We'll take our little our Coke and do it as for this audience, this group of people. We'll sell it for this purpose and get really successful there, make some good money there. And then you know what? We can sell it to this group and this group and this group. But we're using our profit, and this is the point, we're using our profit from selling to the small audience to resource us to expand into the big audience. So if I've got 100 hours a month, say, for marketing, and that's an insane amount of time for a solopreneur, but for a big company, that's not. But if I've got 100 hours of marketing, it makes sense to deploy that 100 hours into achieving one thing that then gives me a return on investment and allows me to invest more marketing hours into expanding into another market. Yet, what we will do, because of our fear of missing out, is we'll go, I'll invest in this market, this market, this market, this market, this market, and you end up with 10 hours split. Let's say you've got 100 hours and you've got 10 hours split across 10 things. How much do you reckon you can achieve with 10 hours in a month trying to make a return on investment and do it well? You can't. It's like some people say to me, oh, Dean, I really want to get good at LinkedIn, but before I do that, I need to sort my website out. I'm like, why? Why? One of the things about websites is, yes, they're useful, but people just look at them now more to kind of validate that you're genuine business. They're not looking at it for product information. You can do that on a PDF. You can give them a product PDF. They're not looking to go, oh, your website's, let me review all of your website to decide whether to do business with you. They're looking at, do I trust you? And so you need a one-page PDF. You can go to market with a one-page PDF. Get some success with that, and then jazz up the website. Why would you spend a couple of grand doing up a website to then get some clients which the website will have zero bearing on? Makes no sense. Sure, a website's good for visibility and credibility and all that kind of stuff, but it's not going to make the difference between sale or no sale. It's just another way to avoid focusing. I shared this on my Substack yesterday, and this is something I've noticed myself doing. So over the last few years, we've had some really good big deals, like 100K plus deals for LinkedIn work. And to be honest with you, we got a lot more in the early part of 2020, 2021, 2022. It's been a bit quieter for those big deals the last few years. But I've always said to myself, I want to get more of those. One, the clients are easier to work with. Obviously, the profitability and money's better. So I've had this goal of going after and trying to get 15 more of these big deals because they're long-term partnerships as well. It's not like somebody comes and works with you once and then it's gone. So I wanted more of these big deals. And in my head, yeah, we need more of these big deals. We need more of these big deals. Have I done anything to actually market to the people for the big deals? No, no. So I have an intention, I have a goal, but actually my day to day actions do not resemble my goals. And I've had to look in the mirror and go, Dean, you're an idiot. Because actually, what I've done is in my head, I've gone, oh, people might not buy that. What if I put all this effort into this and nobody buys it? What if they give me a project and it's too much for me? Right? All of these crazy things have gone through my head. And I've never prioritized the time to pursue those opportunities. Why? Fear of missing out, fear of making a mistake, fear of failure, probably. Maybe a bit of doubt that what if I spend all this time on this and it doesn't work? Well, it doesn't work if you do nothing. And don't get me wrong, I do well. I get lots of good opportunities from LinkedIn. All that. Get lots of people from my accelerator. All that kind of stuff works. But if I've got a goal to get these big 6-figure deals, why have I not got an offer or a service laid out for them? Why am I not talking to people about it? Because I'm prioritizing what feels safe. I'm prioritizing what feels comfortable. I'm doing the things that I like to do. So my goals and my beliefs and behaviors are totally out of alignment on this subject, at least. And I wonder how many of us are all like that. We want things from LinkedIn, we want leads and clients, and then we don't do the things that actually will help us get leads and clients. So the fact that I know most people who are watching me and listening to me could get consistent leads and clients from LinkedIn by doing 30 minutes of activity every day, yet they obsess about, is that the right image, and probably spend an hour trying to write a post that's here today and gone tomorrow. It's not making a long-term impact. It just does not make sense to me. The fact that many people will go, actually, I only need 10 or so clients, and they do nothing to actually develop those relationships that could be those 10 or so clients, but will post content and then obsess about, study, buy courses about how to grow their engagement. It makes no sense to me. But here's me saying this about you guys, but I've been doing the same thing, going, I want 100K plus deals. I want 6-figure deals, and I've not developed a service offering for it. I've not developed it. I've not put it out there. I'm not marketing it. You won't find it anywhere. I've just triggered my AI's tracking features. But the fact that I'm not doing that, it does not make any sense. Makes no sense that you would kind of pursue those crazy angles. Like, I fixed it now. Why am I not marketing that? Why have I not got it on my profile? Why am I not networking with the people who can give me that? Why am I focused on the bit that feels safe and feels comfortable? And then actually going back to my goals and going, I've still not got any of those deals. Maybe I can't get those deals. I've not done anything to get them. And I think actually if I started 10 conversations a day with people who could give me a 100K deal, do you think I'd be better off? Do you think I'd be further along? Do you think I'd learn? Do I know exactly what every company wants? No. Do I know that if I put my offer together for a 6 or 7-figure deal, do I know that that's something that's going to be perfect for those clients? No. But if I talk to them, if I share what I'm offering and I get some rejections and I get some feedback, it's going to be better. And if I'm talking to 10 people a day, I'll be able to refine that way faster. So why haven't I done it? Why aren't, it might not be 6 or 7-figure deals for you. It might be like a 3K program or a 6K thing or a 10K thing. But why have you not done it? Because we revert to the bits that feel comfortable. And I was listening to somebody on YouTube. It was a coach actually talking about something. And I don't know whether I'm going to explain it very well because this is not my field of expertise, but I do think this issue shows up on LinkedIn is that once you get comfortable with doing things in a particular way, it becomes the default. So it's like autopilot. That's the most comfortable thing. And in order for you to actually go to whatever you want to call it, the next level in your business, the next level in your sales career, the next level as a marketer, you actually have to stop doing those things because those things got you that far. But where you're going to go next actually requires new routines, new disciplines, new focus, and you have to grow into that. I can remember the first time I made a huge sale, and it was a big sale. And at the time, I was terrified because I was like, I've never done this before. You know, this was a six-figure sum. I'd never done it before. All the doubts, the fears, the scariness. What if this goes wrong? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And the other side of it, I handled it. The client's happy. The client's still working with me today, but I was terrified. And that fear of being in the wrong place, that fear of being out of your depth is something you grow into that new place. But as long as you keep reverting to what you've done so far that has got you so far, but won't get you any further, you stay there. And I might be stating the obvious, but it's easy. It's piss easy to revert back to what you're comfortable with. It's piss easy. It's harder to stay in that place that's uncomfortable. It's harder to stick at doing something and you going, I'm not sure if this is going to work. It won't work if you don't do it. And I love the phrase, I love this phrase, build the plane whilst flying it. And because you don't really know what's going to work until you try. Like business plans, I find quite funny because you write a business plan, and even with AI now, you write a business plan and the reality of implementing that business plan is totally different. Real world scenarios are different from what you put on paper. And so you have a degree of figuring it out as you go. And when you're trying to market yourself on LinkedIn and sell things on LinkedIn, you know, particularly if you're used to selling to people you know, like referrals, it does feel weird. It does feel uncomfortable, but you're never going to be able to sell to people you don't know. You're never going to be able to build a business that's not on referrals if you don't do it. If you don't learn to get comfortable in a new world, in a new way of doing things. And I've seen salespeople this way. So I'm not just talking to business owners here. Salespeople, if you're used to cold calling, there's a vibe, there's a feeling, there's a sense, there's feedback, there's a comfortableness with doing it. If you've done it 100, 200 times, 300 times, if you've called a load of prospects, you know what it's like. You get kind of normalized to that way of working. It becomes normal to you. And then you go on LinkedIn and it feels really weird again, really uncertain. The rejection cuts a little bit more because you've got used to rejection on the phone. It feels different. It's amazing how many salespeople will do 200 calls or 100 calls a day or whatever number and get no answers. And then they send 3 messages on LinkedIn and get no response and go, this doesn't work. Surprising. It's really surprising. It's just a different way of working. And if you want if you want to take your old skills and try the skills you've got that have got you to here to take you to wherever that next level is, a bigger sales target, bigger deals, more reliable revenue, it won't work. If you're doing things right now, let's just be clear about it. If you're doing things right now and it's not working, right? Whatever that is, you have to change something. So whatever's not working, and if it's not been working for a year, 2 years, right? 6 months, you're not seeing the bellwether of traction, you need to change what you're doing. If you're seeing the bellwether of traction, yeah, in other words, something's starting to build here, but there's a few cogs out of alignment, you need to fix those cogs. And this comes to my other bit. So many people are going through cycles where they pick up a shiny object, a strategy or a plan on LinkedIn, and they start it and it doesn't work. So they ditch it and buy another one and buy another one and buy another one and buy another one. The derogatory way of saying it is course whores. Course whores. They just jump around buying stuff, buying stuff, buying stuff. You know, most of the things I've implemented in my business, they never worked first time. They didn't work. Now, Maverick does maybe 150 events a year with anywhere from 20 to 70 people in a room. Yeah, 150 of those a year. The first time I tried to do those events, we got 4 people there. 4 people. It was awful. Because, you know, you put out all the chairs and some people didn't show, but we were going to do it anyway. But it was 4 people. And it was like, ugh, this is awful. We did it free. 4 people. So I'm there stood at the front with a whole load of chairs. We had 50 signups and we only got 4 people there. And then you have to talk to 4 people. It just feels odd, weird, embarrassing. Because you're like, in your head, you're going, you've failed. So I did it, did the 4 people, and then we tried again. But this time we went, let's remind people. So we built a reminder in to remind people. And we got similar numbers. I think it was about 100 people signed up, and we got 14 people. So, the reminders worked. So that was quite good. And then we tried something counterintuitive. We said, let's charge. Let's charge for the event. And the theory was, well, there was two camps of debate on this internally. One was, if people sign up, they're more likely to show up. It's easy to throw away and I'll not turn up because it was free. The other school of thought was, well, if we can't get people to show up for free, why would they show up paid? But we decided we charge for it. So I think we charged like 40 quid or 50 quid. I can't remember the amount. And 23 people came. So I was like, And then we tested it. And I think our average price now is about £140 for that event. And our conversion off those events is way higher because the people are coming, they're showing up, but also the people who are coming are prepared to invest. Imagine if I'd have quit that because the first time 4 people showed up. That's the first point. And that's true on LinkedIn. Imagine if I quit just because the first time or first few times I did something, it didn't quite work. That's the first point. The second point is, what if I just kept doing the same thing over again without learning the lessons from each bit? What if I just kept doing it without learning the lessons? So it's foolishness to not think for yourself, think critically and look, well, actually, I got 50 people who were interested, but when it came down to it, they didn't have the motivation to come. What do I need to do differently to fix that? No. I could have just gone, well, let's try again on the endless cycle and not learn the lessons of what did and didn't work. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know in life. You probably do this in other aspects of your life or your business or your career, but why do you not do it on LinkedIn? Why do you not reflect and go, what could we have done better there? What was the missing piece? Yeah, we go, oh, it didn't work. Let's never do that again. Come on. We're not children. Yeah. So every strategy I've ever employed has, by conventional standards, failed the first time I've done it. It's not got the outcome I wanted. But then I look back and go, what could we have done differently? What could we have done differently? We could have done that. 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 Let's try a few of these things to make it better. And now most of those strategies are working for me because I stuck with them to refine them. I didn't just go round and round in circles doing the same thing and not learning the lessons. But if you're going round and round and round in circles and you're not learning the lessons, you either need to start learning the lessons. So if you've been posting content over and over and over again, and it's not been getting you leads and clients, you either double down on it and start learning the lessons. What's not working? Why am I not getting engagement? Why are people not commenting? Why do people not want to share it? Why all of those questions you start learning, and stop looking for Google and ChatGPT to give you the answer. Start understanding your customer. Why is that post that I put together not getting me leads when that was my intention? What could I have done differently? What do my ideal clients need to see in that post? What will benefit them? What will prompt them to engage? And you have to think about them, yeah, and build around what you understand of them. There's no magical answer out there. It's about you understanding your customer. You either double down on it or you find a more simpler approach and double down on that, but not keep jumping from approach to approach to approach. So there's some things you're doing right now that you've been going round and round in circles with that you either need to take a long, hard look at and go, what's not working here? Not, it's not working. Like, oh, it's not working, do something else. It's like, why is it not working? If I need 10 clients in the next year, is this the best way for me to do it? Start with the big, serious question. Is this the best way for me to do it? If it isn't, surely there must be a more efficient way than just posting content or pitching people in DMs. There must be something else in there. And given I only need 10 clients, do I need to do 365 posts or even 100 posts to get 10 clients? Do I need to do 100 posts, 2 posts a week to get 10 clients? No, probably not. Just have a logical argument with yourself. Just keep it logical and go, do I need to do that to get 10 people? And I'll tell you why most people end up resorting to a mechanism that requires large volume. So cold outreach, volume, content, volume. Why do people end up resorting to these two? It's because they don't want to get personal. You don't want to get personal. You don't want to invest time in people. I know that's probably uncomfortable to think, but it's true. You do not want to invest time in people because they may reject you. They may say no thanks. They may not be relevant, might turn to nothing. So we will sacrifice getting personal with people, and I don't mean like literally personal, but getting focused on individuals and what matters to them. We will resort to impersonal first. It's not just an efficiency thing. It's we don't want to invest because what if something negative happens? What if it doesn't work? So let's remove ourselves from the process. Let's go content, try and reach the masses and try and win some. Or let's go cold outreach. Let's go a bit more impersonal, one step removed to avoid it. It's an avoidance of rejection. It's an avoidance of doing the thing that's going to be most efficient to get you results. And like I said, it's not about pitching and it's not about posting. There's a whole gulf between those spaces that you could occupy. Like the lawyer, if you had 500 lawyers in your network and you helped lawyers get clients, it would be much easier to have meaningful conversations with them because you'd understand them better. You'd have a better understanding of your ICP. You'd be able to talk to them. You'd be able to understand their challenges. One of the best messages I send to people at the moment is it only has 3 lines to it. It only has 3 lines to it. There's no pitch in it at all, and it gets a conversation. 3 lines. but it's invested in them. For me to get a call, on LinkedIn, I have to spend 2 minutes, 2 minutes on crafting one message. There's no pitch in it, 2 minutes. And I'll give you my stats so you understand it, right? So 2 minutes, 2 minutes of time per prospect. And of those, I'm getting 20% of them come onto a call with me. 2 minutes. So for 20 good quality calls a month, I have to spend 200 minutes. I can't even work out what that is. Let me just work it out. $3 for 20 good quality calls. 3 hours. Some of you, if you're watching me, if I've not pissed you all off and you've left, some of you are spending 3 hours making a week's worth of posts that got you nothing. But I can spend 3 hours because I understand the customer I'm going after, understand their challenges, understand what matters to them, and I can take 2 minutes of my time to do something highly personal to start a conversation with them. I don't know if it's going to go to a sale, but I know 1 in 5 will end up on a call. And on that, I can show how I can help. Will they buy? No, but I don't need everybody to buy. If I've got 20 calls, and my close rate is 25%. So 20 calls, I've got 5 customers. Some won't be interested. Some won't be relevant for them right now. Some it's down the line. What, 25%? 3 hours. That's what I'm talking about. And that's not pitching people. That's starting a conversation and seeing where it goes. Takes me 2 minutes. No. Let's set up automation and let's scale this out. And we can send messages to 100 people a day, templated messages or weird AI generated messages. And we can fire them out 1,000 a month and we'll get 10 calls. Somebody actually pitched that to me in the DMs the other day. I can send 1,000 emails on LinkedIn for you and get you 10 to 15 calls. I was like, I can send 100 and get 20. So what am I saying here? The core bit of self-sabotage here comes from, 1, we're not doing the things that actually will drive things forward. We're just tinkering. The other one that's the biggie is we don't really spend the time understanding the P's. The product, what we're selling, how we're selling it, where we're selling it, LinkedIn, the price and the promotion. The 5th P being the person. If you've mastered those things, if you really understand who you're selling to and you really focus on it, you'll start to go, is this what I'm doing? Is this the best way to get results for me? And you've got to stop thinking, you've got to partition your thinking about LinkedIn for a minute, right? So partition your thinking for a moment. I'm a business owner and I'm on LinkedIn, and then I'm in business mode. And in that time, when I'm on business mode, I am thinking about my plan, my strategy, who I'm engaging with, all of that stuff to build my business. Yeah. I measure building my business by leads. And I talk about this a lot, my LAPD. If you don't know what LAPD is, message me and I'll send you a little video about it. LAPD. I'll put my plan on LinkedIn when I'm in business owner mode, when I'm in business mode, it's LAPD. How many leads am I getting? How many of those are going to calls? How many of those calls are turning into proposals? And how many of those proposals are turning into deals? That's business owner mode, right? When I switch business owner mode off and I'm in Dean mode, I'm engaging with people because I like their content. I'm engaging with people because I like them as an individual. I'm scrolling. I'm interacting with people because of what I see. Dean mode. 2 different partitions. If you don't have that partition, I can promise you, you're in Dean mode. You're just doing the personal thing and pretending it's business. You're just pretending it's business. You need to partition that. And when you're on LinkedIn in business mode, where's my leads coming from? What am I doing to get leads? What's the plan there? What's the plan to turn those leads into conversations or calls? What's the plan on those calls to turn them into appointments? And what's the plan on those appointments to turn them into deals? That sounds very cold, and it doesn't have to be. It can be very relational, but the focus is very, very clear. When I'm in Dean mode, I might see a post and just have a little rant about it. I might comment on something random. I'm just doing things because I want to and I feel like I'm doing it. But when I'm in business mode, it's completely different. So I don't know how much of this little conversation today has been helpful. Let me know if it has. But I thought I'd just come on and talk about this kind of self-sabotage that I see. The fact that people are not very clear on what they're selling. They make it hard for people to figure out what they're selling. They're putting all the kind of initiative onto their prospects to ask, what do you do? Can you help me? Like, why would we not make it easy? Why would we not make it so obvious that people just go, oh, I get it. I can see how you can help me. Why would we make it difficult? The lack of understanding of the customer. Not really understanding their challenges because you're trying to talk to too many customers at once, too many different personas or ICPs. The fact that we're focused on avoiding the clearest path to results, and we either end up swinging to content or pitching, posting or pitching. And there's a whole spectrum of different activities you can do in there. You only need 10 clients and that's like world changing for you. Why are you not focused on that? A bit like, for an example, my big deal plan. I want 15 more big deals. Why have I done nothing to do it? Why am I focused on doing the things that are comfortable? Why am I doing the things that feel more easy and straightforward for me? Yet my goals say I want 15 big deals. It's the same kind of pattern. And then ultimately, that kind of focus on LAPD, not the Los Angeles Police Department, your leads to your appointments, to your proposals, to your deals. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be focused on. What's the process for each of those things? Yeah, I get a lead. Okay, what do I do with the lead? How do I get that lead on a call? I got that lead on a call. How do I look after that person on the call? How do I engage that person on the call? How do I talk about what I do in a way that doesn't kind of seem pitchy? How do I open up their interest, show that it could be relevant for them? Okay, so I'm proposing my services to them. Okay, after that call, I've proposed my services. What do I do to keep the momentum, keep them interested while they're weighing it up, while they're making a decision? How do I keep them interested so that they want to buy and want to close? That's what we should be doing. Instead, you might wake up on Monday morning and go, what shall I post today? Every post should be part of your LAPD. If it's not part of your LAPD, you shouldn't be posting it. It's not part of your plan to get leads, and plan by this, I mean actual plan. I don't mean, oh, I'll post and hope I get leads. How is posting part of your plan to get leads? Is it, oh, people might find it and might be curious? Okay, if they're curious, they'll look at your profile. If they look at your profile, will they find out how you can help them? Probably not, because you haven't done that either. So LAPD. Cannot tell you how important your LAPD is. Every part of that process needs to have a system behind it, right? What am I actually doing to get that result? Otherwise, it's all just guesswork. It's all just made up, right? Think about it. If I'm getting leads, but I'm not getting calls, so in other words, I get L, but I'm not getting appointments, I don't abandon the lead bit. I go, actually, what do I need to fix here? If I'm getting leads and appointments, but they're not interested in what I've got to offer, it's the wrong people coming to the call, say, I know what to do. I have a way to track my success and diagnose my failure. So where I'm failing, I can look through and go, that's where I'm falling down. What do I need to do there? What do I need to fix there? Right? And that's not me looking to the internet to tell me a secret that I'm missing. It's me understanding my customer and going, did I get the right person on a call? On that call, did I do the right things to uncover their need? Did I uncover their need? Did I uncover their pain point? Did I uncover their challenge? Or did I just start jumping into talking about what I do? Did I go straight to the solution and not talk to the problem? We're solution aware, they're problem aware most of the time. Did I do that? Oh, I did that right. So I got a proposal. Why did it go cold? Why did it not convert? What did I miss there? And I can look back and fix it. I can look back and improve it. But if you don't have that process in place, everything's guesswork. It's just a hunch. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's the other. What did I do wrong? What do I need to improve? That's how you get better. That's how you go to the next level. By having these stages that you can look at and go, right, okay, I get it. This is where the work has to be done. And then you can actually move forward. But as long as you don't have that, the longer you keep going not having that, the more you're in this going round and round and round in circles and basically reliant on luck. You're relying on luck to fix that problem. Round and round in circles. Post, oh, that one got me a lead. Let's try another post. Oh, that one didn't get me a lead. Oh, I've got no leads in 6 months now. Oh, maybe I'll try another post. Oh, that went viral. Maybe I should try that. No, you're just trying. That's not a reliable way to get leads. That's not a reliable way to build a business. It might give us a chemical brain, dopamine rush, and we feel awesome when we get a post that gets 40,000 views, but it's not a system. Anyway, I think I've been going for an hour now, so I'm going to sign off and say have a great rest of your Sunday. If you want to chat more about this, message me, DM me, or comment on this. I didn't see the comments on this live for some reason. I can't see them, but yeah, it'd be great to share me your story. Tell me your story in the message. If you're going around on this loop to loop, tell me about it. Message me in the comments if you don't want to talk about it publicly. If you think I'm talking a load of nonsense, tell me in the comments too. And if you think I'm talking, wisdom, tell me that too. That's great. But get a system. Stop going round and round in circles and start breaking some of those comfort things. Really get to know your customer, because that's the key to unlocking everything. When you understand your customer, when you understand them, it all starts to come together. If you've got something like LAPD, it all starts to come together. But you need those systems and you need to understand your customer. Anyway, over and out.